Hello, and welcome to today's episode of Her Version. This podcast is dedicated to sharing stories of struggle to triumph, a platform that allows individuals to tell their truth in order to inspire and uplift others. For those of you that are new to this podcast and like content like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you follow, like, and share. I am your host, Sabrina Victoria. Let's jump right in. I am going to say that one of my favorite things in the entire world is when I see my guests just jamming during my intro. It makes me so happy. So got to notate that. Thank you so much for those of you that are jumping on live with us. This is the Her Version podcast. The Her Version platform is based on storytelling and the understanding that many times our greatest learning experiences come from listening to other people's stories. Today, I am speaking with an amazing woman named Nikki Frias. I don't think you could get a better combination than this girl. She is a hybrid of author, comedian, and coach with a sprinkle of inspiration. She is here today to share some of her journey through divorce, her first and hopefully last encounter with an asshole, or for the sake of keeping our community educated, we are going to call it what it is, a real life narcissist. She is here today to talk openly about doing what you have to do to make an escape plan, the importance of turning to a community of people you trust, and the value of telling your story, also by her book. Welcome, Nikki. I want to ask, through the years, 33 years actually, of your life, there's been a lot. There's been a lot of ups and there's been a lot of downs. But what do you think was your greatest challenge? And yeah, what did you learn from it?
I think my greatest challenge is, for me, realizing that I'm enough.
I love that.
And I say that because I still struggle with it. I'm getting a little bit choked up. But I don't know why. I mean, my therapist would tell you, like, it's my relationships and child, like growing up in your family and this and that. I mean, I came from divorced parents, but they're still like best friends to this day, which is another story, but whatever. But I just have always struggled with, like, I've always like never thought I was good enough. And I like imposter syndrome, but like with self-worth. And I mean, I've been going through it with therapy, with just feeling attractive and feeling good about myself and understanding that, like, I've learned a lot through dating and interpersonal relationships. And I'm coming into this new, like, I'm that bitch era. And I like am starting to mean it. I've been saying it for a long time, but I'm starting to believe it, but it's taken a lot of work. Loving myself and not tying my worth to a man is hard.
Yeah, interesting.
We're very conditioned to do that. And even now, this is the most successful I've ever been in my entire life. And I still have people asking me, like, so do you want to get married? And I'm like, fuck, I don't know. Like, I would love to get married, but like, have you bought my book? Like, hello, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I'm trying to get myself out of it, and it's a slow process, and I'm coming on the swing end. And there will be down times. I'll feel like shit sometimes about it too.
Yeah.
I get really bogged down about, like, I was just telling one of my really good friends about, I get really bogged down and upset when I'm on a date and it doesn't work out, and it's not the immediate chemistry, and it's not the excitement, and it's not, but I do that because I struggle a little bit with, like, not tying myself to it, but just kind of tying myself to, like, will I find that love again? And am I deserving of that love?
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Renee's talking to you here.
Oh, thanks, Renee. Let me see what you got. Thanks, girl. Thank you. I mean, I will say that humor has been one of the best things for me, because I am a very serious person, but I am able to kind of look at, like, the other side of things with humor. It doesn't help that I, like, when I'm uncomfortable, I just laugh. Fuck it. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. But, it is there is some form of relief, some just form of release when you're able to laugh about how shitty some things can be.
Yeah, for sure. Have you always been that way, or is that something you have adapted over the years?
No, I've always been this way. I've always been loud. I've always been comedic. I've always been, just I am the I am like the obtuse like aunt, sister in the family where I'm like, who's fucking drinking? And everybody's like, okay, we're at church, like relax. You know what I mean? Like that is me. I will read the room and I don't give a damn who's in it. I'm gonna let you know I'm here. That's always been me.
I love that. Have you done any or I guess when did you start diving into personal development, personal growth, reading, podcasts, all that stuff?
So when I first decided I was going to get divorced, I had to do something different just because social media and things like that was not working for me. Even now, I still take breaks from it because it is very overwhelming. It's so stressful and it doesn't do well for me, right? I will get so bogged down in TikToks and Instagram that I'm like, I'm not living my life to the fullest, right?
Yeah.
So what I started to do, and I started to notice the method to my madness, was I just took a year off from all social media. I didn't want to potentially see my ex-husband. I didn't want to see like him and his girlfriend. I just knew that would crush me. So what I did was I just kind of tuned everybody out. I made a big statement to my friends, like, listen, I'm going to be off of here. And I just allowed myself the opportunity to like be present and just like not be on my phone all the time. And I loved it. So what I would do was I would limit myself just because I can't go straight cold turkey. So I just would go on Pinterest. I would go on Pinterest, look at things. I noticed I would get very bored with Pinterest because it's a lot of the same, but it would just kind of like fulfill that need. You know what I'm saying? Get me right in here.
Yeah.
And then I started listening to podcasts and just learning so many different things. Like I love NPR and stuff like that. And I just started to notice, we were talking about earlier, like that physical, how you feel. And I was like, shit, I feel good. Like I feel better about myself. I'm going to the gym. I'm starting to feel better about how I look about myself. I'm getting back to what I need to do. And just kind of like learn the process of self-love, self-care, and giving a shit about, doing your hair every day.
Yeah.
But it really started after.
When did you start seeing a therapist?
Girl, that's also another chapter in the book. It's called Get a Nancy. I got my therapist maybe like a month in.
Okay.
We tried to do couples therapy, but he was, a little busy. So he didn't really take it seriously. And I just knew that like for me to kind of get through this, because when I was talking to the people in my corner, right? When I was talking to the people that most supported me, the hardest part is that everybody's like, just tell them to fuck off and just move on. And you're like, no, that's not how this works. That's too easy of a process. That's not realistic. Yeah. And some family members and some people in my corner couldn't emotionally deal with kind of what happened. I know my dad took it really hard. My mom didn't really know what to do about it. So I noticed for me, I had two groups. I had like my family who just acted like it didn't happen really. And then I had my friends who were like so supportive, but they also were just kind of like, fuck him. Right? You know what I mean? Like as a girlfriend, just like, okay, whatever, he's trash. Anyways, let's get you cute. And I was like, I need something in the middle of like an unbiased opinion to be like, this is how you process, right? This is why you think this way. And this is how, the interesting thing is I went to a therapist to like get over my marriage and try to figure that out. And I learned all about myself.
Yes.
So, I mean, I walked in, I'm like, girl, let me tell you about this man. And she was like, let's talk about your childhood. I'm like, what the fuck? So,
yes.
So, yeah.
That's exactly how that works out. That's so.
It really does. And I think it's funny because I was going initially like once a week and then once every 2 weeks. And then before you know, we were literally just standing there like, so do you have any plans this weekend? And I was like, girl, I don't need to come no more. Like my copay and my pockets, we have an understanding and we're good, because I just felt like I was able to like move on to the next chapter.
Yeah.
I wasn't crying about the divorce. I mean, listen, I cried later on, but you know, here and there, right? You got to
Yeah.
allow yourself to cry, but I was able to talk about it and not break down.
Yeah.
And I was eating, so that was good too. So these were all pluses.
Yes. Yes.